a lot of credit to Mississippi State. You know, they played a very good football game, and were very opportunistic at times, and so they were on their game. We weren't. We didn't make plays. Obviously, I mean, you can just start with 5 turnovers. You know, you can't win any game with 5 turnovers, and we know that. Obviously, won them in the red zone. But you know, there was a lot of things that were very disappointing today. I didn't feel like we ran the ball near as effectively as we needed to be able to win a game like this on the road. Obviously, the turnovers very disappointing. I thought defensively we played well at times. We were too sporadic in stopping the run. Again, I feel like there were some tackling issues out there, without question. We got outplayed, and I'm going to own it, and that's the bottom line. So we've got to improve as a football team, and we will, and that's my job. So again, overall, the effort from our kids, they kept playing down to the end, but to do the things that we did tonight and expect to win, we can't do it. So again, we got to get better starting from the top on down, and we'll go to work back on that tomorrow. But this is a good football team that we played. We had our moments, we had our chances, we didn't get it done.
Questions?
Gene, are there any simple answers to what's wrong in the passing game?
I think that, you know, as we go back and look at it, I think it's not just one person or one thing. I think at times it's protection, at times it's ball security, at times it's, you know, missing open receivers. I think that, you know, other than that last drive, you know, we struggled all day. I mean, we couldn't get a pass off, and we did. It was to the other team. So, but that was obvious for everybody. But we've got to go back, and we will spend countless hours trying to figure out exactly how we're going to be able to throw the football. And we know what we got to do, and we got to improve at it.
Gene, did you feel like you were out physical by them on the line of scrimmage?
I felt like there were times in the game where it went back and forth. I feel like there was times when we were very physical. There was a couple of good third down stops in there, and you know, short yardage stops in the open field, which was good. But you know, I felt like there was times when we definitely got out physical. And again, I think that goes back to the inconsistency, you know, of us playing. And you know, that's on both sides of the ball. That's not on one particular side of the ball. So. To me, there's no question that, you know, we've got to up our physicality level of the game on both sides of the ball, certainly in our running game as well as stopping the run today.
Do you feel like you took a step backwards today?
Pardon me?
Do you feel like you took a step backwards?
Well, we're going to have to look at the film and really look at it. You know, obviously, I thought it was a very dismal performance. And you know, at halftime and coming out and returning the open kickoff and taking the lead was a positive for our team, and that. Pretty much everything after that, we went south, and so we got to look at it tomorrow, and got to get it fixed.
Did you consider changing quarterbacks at all?
There was not a sense anywhere in changing the quarterback. We felt like, again, it wasn't always the quarterback, and I don't think you can always, you know, assume that it is. Again, there's protection issues. You know, so some of that's on the offensive line, some of that's on the running back, some of it's on the receivers and the routes they run. So, again, we're going to go back and evaluate everything, and we'll move on from there.
Gene, Trey had the big game last week. You only had 4 carries going into the fourth quarter today. Was there any particular reason why he was kind of less featured?
Well, not really. I mean, you know, we wanted to get both running backs involved, and Mike Blakely was carrying the ball well early. Mike Blakely got a few of those carries that Kyle got, or that Trey got last week. So, you know, no particular reason. They were both running the ball fine. We obviously weren't getting the type of movement up front that we needed to be more effective in the run game, but nothing to do with Trey, no.
During the past week, you said you were proud of Kyle last week about certain things he did in last week's game. What's your assessment at the moment of this game, of anything that he did positively at all from this?
Well, you know, I think when he had time at the end, again, you know, he's throwing the ball, and I mean, it looks like, you know, what we expect from Kyle, but that's at the end. It's too little, too late. And again, there's a number of reasons. I can't go back without looking out the film and you know, point all the fingers to Kyle. Obviously, he did not play well today. Now, why that is, and, you know, what the reasons are for that. It could be, you know, there were a lot of other errors in there as well. But to say that, you know, everything was his fault, I don't know that I can say that, but I think as we all saw, you know, he certainly needs to play much better.
Gene, what was the status of Clint Mosley's shoulder? Would he have been able to go in today if you guys made that decision?
Yes, he would have.
What was Kyle like mentally and emotionally at halftime, second half, after the game?
You know, I think he's, you know, this is a learning moment for him. I think this is a growing experience. You know, and you turn the ball over that many times, you know, mentally you got to be strong enough to man up and come through this. And we've had these conversations numerous times. So at halftime he was fine, and you know he was confident. And you know, after the game, you know, we had a talk right there at the end of the game. But he's, you know, he's mentally a tough kid, and he's got to move forward from this, and he's got to improve, and he's got to make sure that there's some teaching moments in here that are very valuable to him. He's got to move on.
Gene, in the third quarter, there was some obvious passing situations when you ran the ball. So just lack of confidence in Kyle?
Well, I think some of it was field position issues. You know, some of it was field position, and you know, if we were backed up and you know, we were getting pressure on the quarterback and things of that nature, you know, we wanted to be a little safer with it. And you know, the bottom line is that, you know, when we feel like we have to throw, we've got to be confident that we can protect it and throw it and catch it. And when we were backed up back there several times today, we weren't able to do that. So we wanted to try to play, you know, more of a field position game.
You know, on the other side of the ball, it looked like Russell had a lot of time. I think he hit like 10 different receivers today. As a defensive guy, was that frustrating for you to watch, then be able to almost throw at will, it seemed?
Yeah, it is frustrating, and you know, we felt like we could get a little more pressure on him. We got pressure on him earlier in the first half. The second half, they were 7-man protecting, and they did a good job of it. We've got to find some ways to pressure the quarterback. There's no question about that. But you know, again, in the secondary, just, you know, a lot of things that we've got to get, you know, we've got to get correct. And you know, it's going to start with pass rush, but it's also going to start with the coverage back there. And so, you know, again, you can't say that it's the pass rush. You can't say, you know, you got to go back and look at the film and say exactly, you know, where the issues are, and we got to get them fixed.